Good morning, everyone. Are you here? This is 11:30, and today is Thursday. I think you see how clever I am to know what day it is, of course. And this is First Chapter Fun. I'm Hank Philippi Ryan. It's Thursday, one of the days that begins with T, Tuesday and Thursday, and that means on those days of the week, Hannah Mary McKinnon and I will be reading live from a fabulous first chapter of a wonderful new book. Now, let me just see if I can see the comments. I'm not looking at the comments. I can't see the comments on Facebook. I just don't know why this isn't working at all. But I will try to have Hannah tell me the comments. I can see you on Instagram, of course, with everyone waving. Hi, Tony. Hi, Jen. Hi, Marjorie. Hi, Lisa. So nice to see everybody here. And I see the appearances popping up on Facebook, and I think I see, yes, Tracy, hooray, I can see your comment. This is pretty fabulous. So I'm glad to see this. So I'm right here on Instagram and right here on Facebook. Very, very complicated technically here. Hi, Michelle. Hi, Light Girl. LKR Girl. Wish I knew your real name. And Grace, I see you. Hi, thank you for joining us today on First Chapter Fun and also on Jungle Red blog today. Um, Jen is saying perfect hair. And yeah, we can, every Tuesday and Thursday, we'll be able to watch my hair get grayer and grayer. I think of this as sort of COVID hair, don't you? If our hair gets a little bit gray or brown, that's fine. That means that we are alive and well, and our hair is growing, and that's a good thing. So we can all walk around with a little bit of COVID hair. So I see you arriving. I see the numbers popping right up, and that's always so reassuring to hear. This is one of the first chapters fun. Is one of the things we really share, right? We can be together and talk about books together and hang out together and meet new friends and know that we're all in the same place with the same joys, and we all love to read and we all love books. And I'm just sort of, Janet's platinum. It's not platinum. I have clouded your mind. But I love that, and that's so nice of you. Thank you. So what are we reading today? Let me just say, first of all, that I'm here on Facebook and here on Instagram. And, from time to time, the technical glitches pop up, and some Instagram or Facebook will say, we don't want to hear Hank today. And it just boots us right out. So if that happens, it's me, it's not you. So get a cup of coffee, get a cup of tea. I have my 7 News mug today, which my husband just brought. Is that so nice? I'm a reporter, and I'm working from home during this. Anyway, hi, everybody. Hi, Little House of Books. Anyway, if we get booted out of one of these platforms, that's fine. I'll do it over. I'll start the whole thing over on the platform that boots us out. So if Facebook up here goes down, or if Instagram down here goes down, don't worry about it. I'll come back and read the whole thing because you don't want to miss the first chapter today. So how are you doing? I'm in Boston, where it is incredibly sunny, and we just bought a whole bunch of herbs. Hi, Sharon, we read your book, and it is fantastic. Hey, Emily, I'm. This is all so funny, and thank you for being in this with me. I've now set up my system, my iPad right here and my laptop right here. You can see the iPad on Instagram. Anyway, now I've cleverly set it up to so that the iPad covers up the comments on Facebook. So people unclear on the system here, I will, hey, two babes. Hi, Kaylee. How are you? We'll make this work. I'll make this work. Next time it'll be perfect. This time it'll just be fun. That's the deal. That's the deal. So welcome, welcome, welcome. So nice to see all of you here. So let me tell you a little bit about what we're reading today, and I'll show you the fabulous cover of this wonderful, chilling domestic thriller. It's called The Last Resort. It really has colors on the whole thing. This is a very high degree of difficulty, you guys, holding up a shiny iPad to 2 other electronic devices. So The Last Resort by Marissa Stapley. How about that? Can you see it? No, you cannot. There. Okay. How about, can you see that? On Facebook, you can't see it at all. There we go. It is a beautiful blue and white cover with a very bright white bottom, which is a beach with palm trees and a little grass topped, thatched. It's first chapter fun, Jen says, not first chapter perfect. Yeah, that is exactly right. Good title, Hannah. Hannah made up the title. Hannah Mary McKinnon, my partner in fictional crime, made up the title. And yeah, very wise not to make it first chapter perfect. Perfect. Anyway, here is the very wonderful, as much as you can see, first cover of The Last Resort. This is about as bad as it gets, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, anyway, that's what it is. The Last Resort by Marissa Stapley. Let me tell you a little bit about Marissa. Marissa is the internationally best-selling author of 3 novels, Mating for Life, Things to Do When It's Raining, and The Last Resort. The Last Resort was recently shortlisted for the Arthur Ellis Award, Best Crime Novel, very coveted award, and that is being presented tonight. So let's send out our good karma to Marissa for her nomination. Although, as you know, it's an honor to be nominated. So this is completely fabulous. Marissa's novels have been published throughout the world and translated into 9 languages. She has worked as a stable hand, a bartender, a tropical resort destination rep, a sports reporter, a cemetery gardener, a television's listings writer, a band roadie, and a beauty magazine editor. Hey, Nancy. So just about anything any of us want, she has done. Marissa has taught creative writing and editing at the University of Toronto and Centennial College, and now mentors authors and teaches online courses through The Starter. Her award-winning journalism has appeared in newspapers and magazines across North America. She lives in Toronto with her family and her bookshelves, she says, and is currently at work on her 4th novel, a caper called Lucky, which will be published by Simon Schuster in spring of 2021. And we are reading her book today with the kind permission of the author, of course, and of Simon Schuster. Thank you so much for that. All right, so The Last Resort, which I will hold up the cover of again. Let me try it one more time, although it doesn't mean it's going to work any better now. You look this up, okay? You look it up and you find it out. Oh, no, you're seeing all my photos and first chapter fun and welcome. I don't have this down very well. All right, we're just going to, what the cover looks like. From best-selling author Marissa Stapley comes a gripping novel about marriage, loyalty, and the deadly secrets that unravel over the course of a 2-week couples therapy retreat in Mexico. We all have 13 secrets, this says. 5 stay buried forever, but the rest will be revealed. Miles Markel is missing, and everyone is a suspect. To the guests at the Harmony Resort, Doctors Miles and Grace Markel appear to be the perfect power couple. They run a couples therapy retreat in a luxurious resort in the Mayan Riviera, where they help spouses deal with their marriage struggles. Johanna and Ben's relationship looks great on the surface, but in reality, they don't know each other at all. Shell and Colin fight constantly. Colin is a workaholic, and Shell always comes second. But what has really torn them apart is too devastating to talk about. When both couples begin Harmony's intensive therapy program, it becomes clear that Harmony is not at all that it seems, and neither are Miles and Grace. What are they hiding, and what price will these couples pay to find out their secrets? As a powerful hurricane descends on the coast, trapping both the hosts and their guests, confidences are revealed, loyalties are tested, and not one single person or marriage will ever be the same. A gripping exploration of relationships and trusts, The Last Resort is a propulsive read about the big truths we all hide, even from ourselves. Okay, The Last Resort, which now my photos have completely, now they're showing what we made for dinner last night and The Last Resort. Now we have it back. Hank out of control. All right, The Last Resort by Marissa Stapley. All right, let's read. I'm going to read you an email. The book begins with an email, and then I'll read the first chapter. So this is The Last Resort by Marissa Stapley, and welcome to all of you. So wonderful to see so many of you on crazy first chapter fun this morning. Here is The Last Resort, which begins with an email, and then chapter 1. From Miles and Grace Markell to undisclosed recipients. Subject, welcome email. Welcome, friends. Barring any unforeseen circumstances, you should all have arrived by 4 p.m. and will meet on the Oceanside Terrace shortly afterward for opening night. We understand you may be tired from a day of travel, but the inaugural exercise isn't optional. In fact, none of the scheduled activities are. Don't worry, you'll have plenty of time to relax and settle in tomorrow. But please do use some of the time in your settle-in day to catch up on your reading. The books you'll need are on your bedside tables. After opening night, you are invited to retire to your luxury bungalow, where a personalized multi-course room service meal will be delivered. Our staff is at your service with just the press of a button. Use them when and as needed. You won't need an orientation. Everything about Harmony at La Hacienda is intuitive. We promise. We can't wait to meet you. In solidarity, Doctors Miles and Grace Markell. P.S. No cell phones, laptops, or devices. The lockbox are in the lobby. Ruth Abrams, our clinician, will help you schedule approved check-ins with your families. From now on, all communication will happen on resort property only. There is also a strict no alcohol policy, so ditch the duty-free. See you soon. Chapter 1 of The Last Resort. The plane circled on the coast of an ocean the color of a bowl of blueberries or the heart of a turquoise ring, depending on where you looked. For a moment, the frothy white waves shone with an otherworldly aura, and everything she looked at rose to meet her. She thought the plane was crashing, but it wasn't. It was just her. Once they landed, the passengers were funneled into a van where everyone avoided eye contact. Johanna's head felt heavy against the headrest. The vehicle glided smoothly out of the airport parking lot, but when it hit a pitted highway, she raised a hand to her temple. She tried to focus on a flock of birds diving and swooping in unison, tried not to picture her finger as a drill that could relieve pressure. How do they do that, do you think? She asked. How does who do what? The birds fly together like that. How do they know? Her husband's phone pinged. Ignoring her, he reached into his pocket and looked at it. He chuckled and held it up to her. Look at this, he said, but she didn't want to look at it. She wanted to talk to someone about how birds communicate with one another, using a method older than radio frequency. She squinted at the screen of his phone and saw the words, "in solidarity," and a lot of bold underlines. She looked away from the amplified glare. The van was slowing down and moving through a town that crowded against the side of the road. Shop fronts painted teal, yellow, pink, and blue, taco stands, thatch-roofed stores, colorful dresses and hats hanging on poles, dogs and goats and people. Johanna locked eyes with a girl in a magenta top waiting at a bus stop and wondered who the girl was and where she lived and if she was happy or sad. Johanna wouldn't find out. Once, she and Ben had agreed it was wrong to hide away from a country on a resort that had sanitized the truth out of the land it stood on, the way they were about to for the next 2 weeks. But the things they had once agreed on were as foreign now as Johanna's own face must have been to that girl, appearing in the bus window to stare, mute, at a village she would never know. Her ears popped as the van ascended up a cliffside road. Wheels dipped into a pothole. The van rattled out, and Ben reached over and squeezed her hand as if they'd narrowly escaped something, and maybe they had. The drop to the ocean was dizzying. His hand was cool and dry, but there was a nervous pulse beneath his skin, an unbalanced cadence to his breathing, like an orchestra out of sync. Her own hand was sweaty. The bold and the underlines are a bit much, she said. He laughed. It's going to be intense. He squeezed her hand again as she clenched her body against a wave of nausea. But we can do this. She looked left, breaching the unspoken code of conduct in the vehicle. The woman on the other side of the aisle who looked away fast had a curtain of seal brown hair as shiny as glass. How did you get such gleaming hair? Was it something you were born with or something you paid for? Her husband had silver hair that glinted too. He was tapping on the screen of a smartphone. Next time, Ben said, we'll do something you like. The bike trip in Vietnam. Something different. I promise. Not like this. It wasn't long before a structure came into view, a garnet at the top of a hill lit by a sun that had, without warning, begun to descend and deepen above the ocean, orange highlighted paper gliding down. There it is, Ben said, and for a moment she thought he meant the sun. Johanna saw the high windows of the villa lit up. It was as if the structure, which scalloped down a cliffside and was ringed at mid-level by steaming mineral pools, was a giant sundial, now signaling the end of the day, or the lack of time they had to be themselves, to remain unobserved. The driveway wove in and out of trees so that the villa, cliffs, and beach popped in and out of view, tantalizing, disappearing, teasing, gone. One moment, Johanna could see it all, whitewashed walls, waves pounding rock faces, white sand nestled against boulders, jagged mineral jutting into ocean, and the next, she couldn't see anything except trees and vines and playful birds. Wow, Ben said. Yeah, I know, gorgeous. But Ben wasn't looking out the window. He was inclining his head sideways toward the woman with burnished hair and her husband with premature silvers. The entire ride. Johanna pressed her fingertips against her eyelids. What are you talking about? He's on his phone. We're supposed to put them away. Johanna heard the man say something about a safety check. We're responsible for those people, he said in an urgent voice. Shortcuts aren't an option here. Redo it. Yes, the entire thing. I'll wait. Well, we're not inside the resort yet, Johanna said. You had yours out. Workaholic, Ben whispered. She understood. He needed to feel that they were somehow ahead of the class, to believe that in comparison to all the others, their marital problems were minor. We always knew he was going to work in law, his mother used to say. He knows the rules to everything. Ben also liked to argue, but that was another matter. The van was at the edge of a circular driveway beside the sprawling white jewel of a building. The engine shut off. Turrets, towers, balconies, white railings, a steep terracotta roof, and the individual villas scattered like diamonds leading to a beach. There were so many villas, more than necessary, it seemed, for only 12 couples. Recharge your marriage in a stunning and intimate fairy tale setting, said the pamphlets Ben had brought home the morning he had gone to church with his parents and come back with a desperate plea in his eyes. Please, let's do this. Don't leave. Let's fix us. The place really was like a fairy tale, but Johanna was remembering the dusty collection of stories she had discovered as a child on her grandmother's shelf, tales she had read in childish horror, a horror that is always tempered by delight at finding something not really meant for impressionable minds, something about pecked-out eyes or a dead beast or a love-struck mermaid turning herself into sea foam to save her lover. True love, Johanna had learned at a very young age, had consequences. Happy endings always cost you something. Come on, let's go, Ben said. Outside the van, workers in white linen were unloading the luggage. She smelled sea salt on the breeze, sun-baked kelp, the sizzle scent of garlic and chilies from some distant kitchen. Someone put a champagne flute of mango juice in her hand. She pressed the cool of it against her forehead and thought of their wedding reception at the MacArthur only 2 years before. The bubbles in the champagne that day had gone straight to her head. Johanna had walked in on her mother-in-law, crying into a friend's shoulder in the bathroom. I'm just so happy, she lied when she saw Johanna. She should have chosen a dress that covered those tattoos, the friend whispered as Johanna left. Johanna had her first migraine that night. Not a great start to their honeymoon. She sipped the juice. She could hear the ocean far away and lounge music closer up, flowing from speakers set into the rocks. Ben walked ahead, glass in hand, and Johanna hurried to catch him. A woman was stepping forward to greet him, a woman Johanna knew, though it was disconcerting to know someone you'd never met. This was the woman pictured on the books Bren had brought home, the woman from the TED Talks he had played for her on his laptop, the voice from the podcast they had listened to while cooking dinner. This was the gleaming smile she had seen on the clips from Dr. Oz and The View. "You must be Johanna," Grace Markell said. Johanna forgot about her headache as Grace reached for her hand. Grace didn't shake it, though. She held it in hers. She held it long enough for the connection to have meaning, but not so long that it felt awkward. She looked into Johanna's eyes as she did this. Her eyes were gray like storm clouds. "Welcome to Harmony," she said. "Thank you for coming." "Thank you for having us," Johanna murmured as Grace released her hand. A younger, shorter woman with ash blonde hair swept into a tight bun and heavy makeup on her face was standing beside Grace. She looked as if she was about to go on television. "I'm Ruth," she said, pumping Johanna's hand up and down. It was endless. "Nice to meet you," Johanna said, letting her hand go limp. "Ruth is our assistant." She checked her clipboard. "I don't think you're on her roster." Grace shook her head. "No, you're on mine, and Ben is on Miles. But you'll see Ruth around. She runs a few of the group sessions." Ruth smiled brightly. There was fuchsia lipstick on her tooth. Then she held up a clipboard bearing a white piece of paper covered in black type. "You both need to sign this, please," she said. "It's the couple's contract." Johanna signed without looking at it. Ben gave it a cursory glance, then scribbled his name. "The porters are taking care of your luggage," Grace said. "You'll find a table upstairs on the terrace with your names, your check-in package, and everything else you'll need. We're gathering there now." "The porters are taking care of your luggage," Grace said. "You'll find a table upstairs on the terrace with your names. Our bags are," she said again. "Our bags are where?" Johanna interrupted. Her nervous elation turned to sudden panic. She'd put her carry-on bag on top of her luggage, and now it had vanished. She needed that bag. Her pills were in there. "In your villas by now," Grace said with a final smile, one that was likely meant to be reassuring. "I just need to go to our villa and," Johanna began. But Grace was gone, moving along to greet another couple with Ruth slightly behind her, a gosling following a goose. Johanna felt bereft as Grace reached for someone else's hand. Ben pulled her along. "Come on, let's go." Ruth had tucked their contracts into an envelope and was now looking back at Johanna, wide-eyed, too interested. "I am not a subject," Johanna wanted to shout. "I am a person." But she didn't. She let her husband guide her. She let him lead. Oh, gosh. So 12 couples arrive at an island in the Mayan Riviera, supposedly there to fix their marriages, with the mysterious doctors Miles and Grace Markell at the helm. No wine, no phones, no laptop, no computer, no communication. They are on their own. So, I mean, what could go wrong, right? Maybe somebody forgot their sunscreen, something like that. But it does not sound good, especially since the fabulous Marissa Stapley called this the last resort. And you love that, right? You know, it's the last resort for their marriage, of course, and that's why they went there. But kind of frighteningly, the last resort they'll ever go to. So that is not good, and that's why we read these novels of domestic suspense, and they are so fabulous. So again, that is The Last Resort. I will try this one more time. The Last Resort by Marissa Stapley. When you see the fabulous cover, and Hannah saying, such a great book. Hey, Emily, I'm looking, as you know, I can't see. I'll look at the comments on Facebook later because I've cleverly covered them up with my iPad right here. But let me do say that Marissa Stapley herself will come to Facebook and look at all your questions and look at all of your comments. And of course, we will post this on Instagram Live right here and on Facebook on our videos on First Chapter Fun group. So if I'm sure I know you have all joined the group because you are here. Why else? Do bring a friend. That would be fun to have. You are allowed to invite people, and we would love having them come and love having you bring them to join you and us here on Facebook and here on Instagram. I know Robin is saying with no alcohol on the resort. I mean, kind of got to have a margarita or a pina colada from time to time. We used to go to Mexico in the summers and with my family, and my mother, who did not drink at all, except on vacation from time to time, and we would give her pina coladas and tell her there was rum in them. But there wasn't any rum in them. And she would drink them and get all giddy because she just thought there was rum in them. So, hi, Mom, we miss you. Anyway, Tuesday, we're here on Tuesdays and Thursdays, days that begin with T, and that's how you can remember in this crazy world now when all the days seem to run together, don't they? You'll be back here on Tuesday, next day that begins with T. Well, we will be reading from, again, Hank attempts to get, I will get real books for you all, not these. This is Katrina McPherson's Stranger at the Gate. Katrina McPherson, if you don't know her, there we go, is a marvelous author. She lives in California now, but she's from Scotland. She is brilliant and fabulous and hilarious and wonderful and quite marvelous. And if you don't know her books, good for you, because now you have the opportunity to read them all, starting here on First Chapter Fun. Next Tuesday, we will be reading from Strangers at the Gate by Katrina McPherson, which you can probably see the cover of. See, this is the suspense, watching First Chapter Fun and seeing Hank trying to make you able to see the covers. Jen says, yes, she is hilarious. Katrina is hilarious. Wonderful. As for all of you, what a joy to see so many of you here today. Let me look over here on the, I'm just going to try to see the Carla and Jill, Susan, Marissa, you're here. Hey, darling, thank you. What a joy to read your books. And good luck tonight at the Arthur Ellis Awards. We do hope you win. But again, it's a fabulous joy to be nominated for such a wonderful book. Lyda, Carol, Grace, oh my God, Lisa and Kimberly, Beth, look at all these people. This is such a treat. You all, thank you. I know it's really fun for us to read from the books. We're not professional readers, as I think you can probably tell, but we do love it and we do enjoy it. And to see all of your sweet names and faces is quite a joy. So until next Tuesday, when we will be reading from Katrina McPherson's Stranger at the Gate. Thank you to Marissa Stapley for letting us read The Last Resort. You run out and get that when you need something to read. Remember, you can see all of our first chapters right here on Facebook, in our videos, and on IGTV right here on Instagram. This is episode 57, if you can even imagine that. So Hannah Mary McKinnon, who started this, has read so many of these, and she is so brilliant and so fabulous. And now I am her sidekick and partner in fictional crime. So every Tuesdays and Thursday, days that begin with T, come right here to Instagram and Facebook, and we will read you a wonderful first chapter. If you miss it, there are now going to be 57 videos, 57 lovely, luscious first chapters for you to read from. So we will see you on Tuesday, I guess, is the next day that begins with T. And until then, stay safe, stay kind, take care of each other, and we will see you next time. Thanks so much.